This is going to be so good. All right. So Kellie, you should be able to unmute yourself. So go ahead and just tell us who you are for the people that are brand new over here and don't know you yet, and tell us your story and all the good things.
Hey, y'all. Okay, I'm so excited to be with you guys tonight. My Norla is having a baby. We're so excited for you. Okay, I know that's like side note, but like Andrew goes, tell her we're so excited for her.
I love him. He's the best. Also, side note, you'll have to know why she calls me Norla. So really quick side note. So I have a dog named Nala, and I showed her youngest daughter, Leo. I was showing her whenever I was at Kellie's house. She was like, do you have a dog? Because they had a little Lily dog, but they had a dog, and I was like, here's my dog. Her name's Nala. And then I pointed to Nala, but I was in the picture with Nala. And then so she thought I was talking about me. So she thought my name was Nala, but she couldn't say Nala. So she called me Norla. So we played hide and go seek, and she would say Norla, and she'd be looking at her and call me Norla. So Kellie always calls me Norla now. So anyways, that's the story.
So cute. Okay. So anyways, we're just super excited for you. Okay. You're welcome. So, okay. Who's the funny looking donkey? Let's see. Oh, yay. Okay. So, just my tiny little bit of story is, I've been doing this now for 6 years. And I'm an ambassador diamond with the company. And I started this looking for an extra $55 a month for ballet classes for my oldest daughter, Nova, who at the time was like 2.5 when I started. And my husband and I had just moved. We didn't know anybody. So if you're new here tonight, let me just give you a little bit of hope, okay? We moved from Nevada to Texas. I didn't know anybody, out in the middle of nowhere. I didn't have social media. Well, let me take that back. I didn't have an Instagram. I had like maybe 500 people-ish on Facebook, but I posted like once every 6 months. Like I didn't know anything about social media, but we needed extra income, and we were like paycheck to paycheck, and there just wasn't extra for anything. And so I saw my friends posting about this business on Facebook. And at the time it was all about body wraps. Okay. So it's just bellies everywhere on Facebook. And they had gotten a $10,000 bonus. And I was like, ooh, maybe I should try that, and after saying no 3 times, if you said no before you said yes, type a 1 in the chat below, because what I want you to know is no is not a bad word. Initially, when I started my business, I was like, no feels like a cuss word. Like, can you please just say, no, it's okay. I'm just not really interested. Could you just not just say no? Like that's so, ow, ooh. You know what I mean? I did not know, was like, oh, okay, well, I was just thinking, okay, never mind. You know what I'm saying? And Go for No is a great book for that. If you've never listened to it, you will feel very accomplished. You can finish it in 2 hours on Audible. But that really helped with that. So anyways, here we are. I'm just saying, I've done this business with shaken boots the entire time. But it's totally changed our lives. So at year 4, we went ambassador, my husband went presidential, and now I'm Triple Diamond 2.0. And my husband's at home with me full time. And now we have 3 tiny little sisters. And we get to give more than we used to make in a year. We got to, during the pandemic, put our 3 girls in private school. And that wasn't really on my list of things to do, but has become super valuable to us. Pay our trucks in cash and pay for our whole lives, you know what I mean? And get to live and do things that we only dreamt of being able to do someday, all from this tiny little iPhone. And I never in a bajillion years would have ever imagined something like this would ever work for someone like me. But the beautiful thing is, the more people you get to know in this process, the more people you'll hear say, I never imagined, but I'm so thankful I said yes.
That is so good. I love that. And put a 2 in the chat if you were like, yeah, I never thought this would work for me, but here I am, and it is, and this is the best thing ever. I love this business, and I was one of those people who I just set my goals so low whenever I started. I did not think I was going to be good at this business at all. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no experience. I was 20 years old. I didn't have people who would buy from me. None of my friends and family ordered from me, and I just thought, if I can get 1 customer in this business, I won't have failed. That was how little I thought about myself when I started. I was like, 1 customer customer is the goal. If I can do that, then I won't fail, because I knew I could get one customer. I mean, come on, I knew I could get one. So I was like, if I can get one customer, I won't hit fail. Like, I just needed to not fail at this business. And so, which we'll talk about that later, because failure is fine and failure is a prerequisite to success. But anyways, I just really wanted to do well at this. And I was like, there's no way, not me, not somebody like me. But I love that, because it really isn't about who you are, where you come from, or having a certain look or a personality. Anybody can do this business. So I love that. Okay. So let's get into some questions. I only have a couple of questions, because I want you to be able to spend time answering each question. And if I think of different questions as we go, I want to be able to ask those too. Or if anybody else has questions, they can drop it in the chat and we can kind of go off of that too. So, okay, I'm just going to read it just like I sent it to you on here. So, coming from your background in your childhood, where you say that y'all didn't have a whole lot, how have you worked hard to dream bigger and increase your mindset with what's possible in this business, and having the money mindset shift that you've had, where you can believe in big goals and that you can achieve them? So I know a lot of people on here struggle with that. Put a 3 if you're like, yeah, I didn't really come from a whole lot, so just like barely getting by is like, great. That's me. Like, my family was very average. Like, I did not come from a lot of money where that was normal. So, and I know Kellie has a similar story to that too. So I want to know how you dream bigger, because we always tell people, dream bigger, dream bigger. But how? Whenever dreaming bigger for us is paying our bills, like, that's bigger than what we've ever known. So how did you learn how to do that?
So I mean, I grew up, we couldn't pay the bills. So my mom was a single mom, and I grew up in the trailer park, and there was many times people from the church would come and like bring us bags of cash or bags of groceries or clothes or shoes, or there was never a safe financial time in my childhood where I thought, we're okay and we're being taken care of. It was always a fear kind of thing. And so for me, I've had an unhealthy money mindset for a really long time, and so Stacy and I were talking about this the other day, and Stacy's on here tonight. She's my enroller. She's also an Ambassador Diamond, but and the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind book has been very impactful for me personally in this area. But I feel like it's not just what I feel like, but I mean, also it's been said that you're either motivated by hope or by fear. Okay, so you're either looking at this from a place of, I can do this, this can change my life, I'm going to crush this, I need this to work for me, I'm going to go for it. Or you can look at this from a place of fear and go, if I don't do something, nothing is going to change in my life, and I need something to work for me. And so I did this from a place of fear, starting out in my business. Poor Stacy. I always say, when I started my business, I was like, I don't think I'm going to get a customer. I don't think this is going to work for me. I probably shouldn't have signed up to do this. I don't know that this is going to, I mean, like, everything was like, I don't think so. I don't think so. My goals were very, very tiny, because and I was like, man, if I can even just make $55 a month for ballet, that's cool for me. Like, I used to sell stuff on Facebook, and I would buy my girls clothes and shoes on mom swap shops. And if it was in new condition, you bet I was buying it, and I would save it for the next season. You know what I mean? Shop ahead on Facebook and sell stuff to get the things that we wanted. And I've always been kind of like resourceful that way. But that's all I've ever known. So an abundance mindset is very foreign to me, or was very foreign to me coming into this, business. And so when people would talk about dream boards, I remember Stacy and Sherry Lynn would do dream board parties, and everybody goes to dream board party and takes their stuff. I always felt so dumb. Like, I was like, I feel really dumb doing this. Like, I don't have dreams like this. I don't know why, because if the Lord can do all the other things he's done in my life, why could he not bless me in this way? Why could he not provide? Why could he not do something huge like this? But I just didn't, I didn't have a brain cell for it, and so through starting my business all the way through Ambassador Diamond, there wasn't really time where I was like, I'm going to kill this. I'm going to do it. We've got this. We're going to crush this thing. It was always from a place of fear. It was, we decided to bring Andrew home. If I don't get this thing done, we will have no money. Like, he quit his job. I had 3 tiny little babies. He was working 60, 70 hours a week, and I couldn't handle all of it. So we moved back to Nevada, brought him home, and my paycheck was $3,000 and our mortgage was $1,900. So after you pay the mortgage and you pay the tithe, there's not much left. You know what I mean? And so it was just from a place of fear. I don't know how this is going to work. I feel like I'm doing all the things I know how to do, but if I don't figure out something, my family is not going to be able to eat. Okay. It's either I figure this out. It became plan A. And so I was motivated by fear all the way through Ambassador. Then after Ambassador is when it switched and I was like, wait a minute, maybe I can do this. Doesn't that sound silly? But I'm telling you the truth. That's how I felt. I was like, I have no idea if I can ever do this. Like if people would call me or message me and go, are you going Ambassador? I'd be like, please don't ask me that question. I don't know. I told Stacy, she was like, I'm going to come and I want to be there when you go Ambassador, you know? And she was like, is it happening? I was like, I don't know. I don't think you should come. I don't think it's happening. And then on the very last day, we're like, oh, shoot, go, 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 go. You know what I'm saying? And so that belief didn't change to hope and motivation and excitement until after Ambassador. And that's when I read Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, is after going Ambassador Diamond. And I was like, oh, so this isn't bad. And it's okay to want it. Here's the trick. And I wrote this down to tell you is I had that unhealthy mindset for so long. I had grown. The Lord had done a work in my life, but it was still so unhealthy that I couldn't fix it in time to get my business to go forward. Do you get what I'm saying? I was so far behind in mindset. I still wouldn't be Ambassador if I was waiting for my mindset to get into the right place before promoting. You ever feel like maybe I'm just not the right kind of leader to be XYZ rank, or maybe I just haven't grown enough and that's why my paycheck hasn't grown. I'm like, look, I don't know how to fix me. I'm kind of jacked up. So what? I can't promote because I'm jacked up? Nope. Just got to go with it while I'm jacked up and just keep praying that the Lord keeps speaking to my heart and just keep going while being completely terrified. And you can go all the way to Ambassador Diamond without believing in yourself. That's a bunch of hogwash. I just can't do it because I don't believe in myself. Well, neither did I. But my family needed a paycheck. You know what I mean?
That is so good. I love that. Put a 3 in the chat if you're like, ooh, calling me out. A lot of y'all are already typing that. But if you felt like she was calling you out and you were like, oh, dang, I feel convicted, put a 3 in the chat. That was so good. And I think that is sometimes what we say, not intentionally, but maybe unintentionally, as a cop out. We're like, well, I can't do it until I believe in myself. And we're trying to gain all of this belief. And I think belief starts with who you surround yourself with too, and making sure you are leveling up your circle. But I want you to just go after it while you don't have the belief. And I think that's where that belief comes from too. And just, I mean, you're not going to look at a mountain and be like, oh, I really believe I can climb that. But once you climb it, you're going to be like, yeah, I can definitely climb that mountain because I just did. And so it's like one of those things where you have to borrow the belief of other people who've already done it. So whenever you're looking at me and Kellie, we've done a lot of the things that you're wanting to do. So borrow our belief, because even though I haven't gone Ambassador, Kellie has. And so I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it. I don't look at that and be like, oh my gosh, I have 100% belief that I can go Ambassador because I've never done it before. But I know she has. And I know if she can do it, I can do it. And I know that if God blessed her in that way, he's not going to look at me and be like, oh no, that's only a Kellie thing. Sorry, Morgan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think that we do that and we count ourselves out because we think that somebody's going to be blessed more than we are, that God's going to look at their efforts and bless their efforts, but not ours. And I think that we count ourselves out so often because we don't believe that we can do it. And that comes from the things that we went through in our past. But I think if you just shake those things off and say, I'm going to work in spite of who I am now and know that I'm going to grow in the process, then you're going to have that belief. You're going to grow into a place where you know that it's not bad to have those things. And so speaking on money mindset, I know I've talked about this recently, but I never want to assume that everybody heard this. And some people, like, I just feel like sometimes, like, I'll say things and people hear it, but they don't really hear it. So I'll say it again anyways, because that's why I always like to repeat myself, because even like maybe you missed part of it or you weren't in a space where you're ready to receive it. So I don't know when the last time I said this was or who was on, but the thing, so I've been listening to the Transformation Church series that they've been doing on paper chasers. And so if you don't know what that is, you can look up Transformation Church on YouTube. It's Michael Todd's the pastor. So he's been going through paper chasers, and it's basically talking about like tithing and giving and all of those things. And so it is a biblical principle, but here's the thing that I want you to understand, even no matter what your religion or your faith is. For me, one thing that he said that really stuck with me was that God doesn't care about your money. He just wants your heart. And so it's not about like, oh, money is bad. And I grew up in church, and I know Kellie has the same background too, like just like being in church and having this, like, for me, I was taught this idea of if you were poor, it was more like noble for you to be poor. And if you had a lot of money, like they always used the verse, money is the root of all evil, but it actually says the love of money is the root of all evil. And so I grew up thinking like, oh, money is bad. And I don't know about you, but my mom used to say things like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, or somebody would get something nice and she was like, oh, they probably put that on a credit card. And so I started looking at like, oh, if they buy nice things, they're probably in debt. So you can't have nice things unless you go into debt. And so, which obviously isn't true. You can have nice things and pay cash, but my family didn't do that. And so she just assumed, and like anytime anybody bought something nice, she kind of like was just like, oh, they're keeping up with the Joneses, we don't do that. And like she didn't say it like that or mean it that way, but she was just saying like, we're more noble because we're just living barely, paycheck to paycheck, and we're fine with that. And we don't want nice things because we don't want to seem like we're keeping up with the Joneses or going into debt, when you could have those nice things, not to keep up with the Joneses and pay cash for it. But it's one of those things where I grew up thinking money's bad. And there's a story in the Bible too that I've always referred back to, even in the midst of learning all these things. And I just recently, like listening to this series, was set free from this belief. And so I want to tell it to you really quick. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Being pregnant, I literally can't talk without getting out of breath. So I'm like trying really hard to pace myself. Okay, so one thing that they said was there's this story in the Bible, this parable of the rich young ruler. And I think it was a rich young ruler. Anyway, whatever it was a rich man. And he went up to Jesus and he was like, what do I need to do to inherit the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus said, sell all your possessions and come follow me. And the guy turned away sad because he had a lot of possessions. That's what the story says. And I always thought, oh, and then it says, it's harder for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven than for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. And so I was like, oh, if you're rich, you're bad. And so it's like, oh no, but that's not at all what the Bible is saying. And Michael Todd put it in perspective, and he said, that's not what the story says. It's not saying that if you have a lot of money, you're not going to go into the kingdom of heaven. The reason why that guy struggled and walked away sad was because he didn't even try to give up all the possessions. Like he just thought, oh, if I have to give this stuff up, then I don't want a part of it. And so it wasn't the possessions that was the disconnect, it was his heart. And so God doesn't care about your money. He just wants to be the priority. You can be rich, but he wants to be the priority. And so I just want to release a lot of you of that. If you feel like, oh, I can't be rich and successful and godly, or have the blessing of the Lord on my life if I'm running after this income, or if I'm running after this goal of being a millionaire, or paying off debt, or whatever it is, and like I should be giving all my money away to the poor. Like there is a level of giving, yeah, but also you want to make sure that you have your priorities straight and that your heart's in the right place. And as long as you're putting God as the priority, he doesn't care where you use your money, or I mean, he does care where you use your money, but he doesn't care that you have money. He doesn't care that you're rich. he just wants the priority. And so that helped me a lot to realize like it's not about the money I have or don't have. It's just about where I'm placing my worth, and my value isn't in that income. And so to branch off of that, kind of talking about the same thing, how have you come to the realization that it's okay to want more than just barely getting by? Because I know that you struggled with that too. And we went to the premiere together, and there was something that you said on one of the like aha moment Zooms that we had that I still think about now. And I want you to say it again, because I know a lot of people didn't see that. But just talk about that if you don't mind.
Yeah, I love that. And side note is Stacy and I were just having this conversation. Her and Joey are reading Secrets of the Millionaire Mind right now too. And she was saying, our pastor in Dallas was saying to them, money isn't evil, it's a tool. It's just a tool, just like a pencil. My pencil isn't evil, it's a tool, and how I use it comes from the intention of the heart. How I use money, it's the heart condition is absolutely what he cares about. And going back to like what you were saying, Morgan, about all those things that your mom said to you, that's exactly how I grew up. So in doing this business, when you're hearing people say, make a dream board, write out your goals, write yourself a check from Mark Pentecost and put it on your dream board. I wouldn't do those things because I didn't know how to feel about them. I felt that it went totally against what I had been taught as a kid. It's bad to want more than you need. It's an earthly possession. Your treasures are laid up in heaven. You know what I mean? And while those things are true, it's being taken out of context. You know what I'm saying? And as long as your heart, if you have a relationship with the Lord and you're talking to him on a consistent basis, hearing his voice, reading his word, you're going to stay in line with what he wants you to do with the things that you're given. Okay. Whether you're given a car or you're given $100,000, you're given a pencil, you're given a cup, you're given what you do with it. Okay. Stems from the condition of the heart. It's not the cup that's evil. It's not the money that's evil. Does that make sense? And so, but I've had to learn that, and I didn't know how to think or how to feel about it until I read Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and it totally opened me up to going, okay. And you might, if you listen to it or you read it, I didn't listen to the book or buy the book because it had the word millionaire on it. I mean, we're talking like, this is extreme. I'm like, I never thought about being a millionaire. I never wanted to be a millionaire, not because I have I don't judge it. I just didn't know to want it, didn't know to want to be successful. Is that funny? And so, but going through and listening to him say the things that we've heard as a kid, I go, oh, shoot. Right. Okay. So some of that is not healthy. Okay. Unhealth is unhealth. Whether you're obsessed and love money or you have a hate towards it, like I did, unhealthy in either way is still unhealthy. Right. And so we went to the premiere and I sat at dinner next to Cindy Pentecost, and we were just talking while the rest of the table was talking. And I was like, I'm so thankful to get to be here, whatever. And, just thinking about the year. And I'm like, I just sometimes struggle with, I don't know what else I want. Like, my house is paid for and I'd be okay with this house. Like, we have things we want or need-ish, but if we didn't do anything else, I could be fine. I lived in a trailer. I just wanted a house as a grown-up for my kids to live in. I just didn't want them to live in a trailer park. I'm not looking for a mansion. Nothing wrong with mansions. I just didn't know I could want that. You know what I mean? I have trucks that work and they're great. A 4Runner and a Ford F-150. It's not a Range Rover, but I like them and I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? So to want more, I feel like I struggle. Like, what more am I supposed to want? I don't know. I don't know what I want. I know I want to keep going, but I don't know what I want. Does that make sense? So like if you ever struggle with your dream board. And so I was telling Cindy these things and she goes, in the process of, going on this journey with Mark and Mark starting his own company and they do all these things. And then they started, having these big booms in the business and making all this income. And now Mark is a billionaire. You know what I mean? And she's like, She's like, we didn't, she grew up the same like me. There was 6 siblings, and in the middle of the night, they had to run, and they had nothing. She had nothing as a kid. And so being married to Mark and going through this process, and they're making all this money, and she's like, Lord, I didn't ask for any of this. Like, I don't need any of this. But she goes, but I stayed faithful to what the Lord was asking us to do. And I know that the Lord brought this opportunity into my life for more than just money. It's for a purpose. And it's become a tool to impact lives all over the world. Just the same for you. You might have come here for money, but you're going to get a whole lot more in this process than just a comma in your paycheck that pays for your bills. If you stick around, you're going to be a totally different person. And that's something I could never repay. I would give back all the money to stay who I've become is 5,000 times stronger than who I was before this. And I thought I was doing pretty good. I mean, that sounds bad, but I mean, I thought I was doing pretty good as a person before this business. But who I've become, I can't repay. And that same thing will happen for you. And so in the conversation, she goes, you know, we've built a dream house a few times, and we've done all these things that I never even intended on wanting. And she was like, but you know, I just stayed faithful to doing the next thing and to sticking through the journey that God had us on. She's like, I never imagined that we would build this multi-million-dollar sports facility for my grandson's Christian school. It was never on my dream board to do something like that. She's like, but if I had not been faithful to do what God had put in my hands, that would have never even been a possibility in the first place. And so while I was sitting there going, I don't know what else I could ask for or want. I just don't even know where to begin with this. You know what I mean? And I feel guilty even wanting more than I have. But what I could hold on to was the Lord brought me here, and he still has me here. And I'm always willing with my hands open to say, do whatever you want to. When I get to heaven, the Lord's not going to ask me, how much money did you make? How many LCs and DTs did you sign? He's going to say, how many people did you love in my name with the opportunity you were given? And I'm going to say as many as I possibly could. And I might not get it right all the time, but I will dang sure try. And so while I don't know everything that goes on the dream board, neither do you. You might be here for $55 a month for ballet classes like I was. But also, your eyes aren't big enough. Your appetite's not big enough. Your mind and your heart haven't grown big enough for the dreams that you're going to put on the dream board. They haven't even crossed your mind as a possibility. I never imagined writing the Millionaires Club. Okay, being in the Millionaires Club. I'm like, ooh, that's so cool. I'm like, wow, those guys, wow, Morgan's in the Millionaires Club. That's so cool. Why did I not ever think, hey, I want to be in the Millionaires Club? Never crossed my mind until this year. Why? Because it's within arm's reach. I'm not going to lie to you. It wasn't on my dream board until this year, and I started adding stuff up, and I was like, oh, I guess I better put that on my dream board because now it's kind of possible, and that'd be kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what dreams are going to come because your mind and your heart have to grow in order for the Lord to even put them in your heart. I'm like, I don't know what this is going to become, but I'm totally here for the ride. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And you don't get to see how the whole thing plays out. You don't get to see what happens along the way. But if you trust that this can be something more than just a $55 a month, $300, $500 a month that pays your car payment and gets you a little bit free, what if this is legacy that you're building? And not just for your family, but the families that you'll reach across the world through social media. You know what I'm saying? It's not just my family that benefits if I stick it out and I push myself to grow. It's the lives of the people that are on here with me tonight. It's your life. It's my leaders' lives that are on here with me. And what if their kids grow and think different and live different? And what if their grandchildren, do you get what I'm saying? You're sticking it out, not just for a couple $100, sissy. You're pushing for this, for stuff you don't even know you can dream for. And I can get on board with that. And so I felt at the ranch that the Lord just gave me permission. You're going to think this sounds so dumb, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I know it might sound dumb, but I still felt like, and I told Stacy this a few times, that there is still part of me that doesn't own this business. It's going to sound dumb. I get it. There's still part of me that's like, I don't know. This scarcity mindset is not fully abundant. Okay. And there's still part of me that's like, I don't know if this is still okay. I'm still asking the Lord, is it okay that I'm doing this still? Is it okay that I dream these dreams? Is it okay that I set these goals? Is it okay that I'm really putting all my effort into this? Is that still an okay thing with you? After going ambassador and doing 6 years of life with this and putting my whole family, involved in this and getting all my friends in with me and all that I've put into it. And I'm still asking the Lord, is this still okay? Is it okay that I'm doing this? Is it okay that I want it? Is it okay that I want to be successful? And he's like, Kellie, you've had the permission the whole time. I wouldn't have asked you to do this. And then go, oh, just kidding. Like, just kidding. Dangle the carrot and then go, just kidding. Do you know what I'm saying? But I felt for the first time a full permission to own it and go, I don't know what's on the road ahead, but I trust that the God that gave it to me will show me when the time is right. And I can keep going just for that alone.
That is so good. Don't you love how just honest she is? Because I know it's easy to look at people who are at the top of the company and be like, man, they just have it together. Like looking at Kellie and all of her posts and all of her cute little posts about her three little what do you call them? Three sisters?
Three tiny sisters.
Three tiny sisters, and all of her stuff about like her promoting. She's triple diamond 2.0 and she's about to go presidential 2.0 and like all these different things. Like, would you ever be like, wow, she struggles with things just like I do? But I want you to know that you don't lose the struggle whenever you promote. You just have a different struggle. Like we all struggle with different things. Like it's not, oh, I made $1 million with this business. Now I don't have to struggle with money mindset and wanting more. Like I'm always dreaming. No, like there's always something that's there. And so I don't want you to think that, oh, well, once I get to this point, then I'm not going to have to struggle with that. Or once I get to this point, or if I could just be more like Kellie, like I know that it's easy to compare yourself in this business. We're going to talk about that in a second, but I don't want you to look at certain people and look and be like, oh my gosh, like everything's just so easy for them, because we have struggles too. And I know Kellie has struggles too. And it's being open about those things and sharing those things. That's how we help other people understand and get better, who do struggle with those same things too. So just put your favorite emoji in the chat for a second or whatever, and y'all start dropping those anytime that you hear fire, or if you're on your computer and you don't have emojis, just put the word fire. Anytime that she says something that you're like, oh my goodness, that is speaking to me right now, just put fire in there. Okay. Perfect. Okay, y'all are practicing. So y'all, this is so good. I love this. And that's why I wanted her on here tonight, because I know that she's going to speak to you in a way that I wouldn't be able to, because I just feel like we're totally different personalities. And I admire just like how soft spoken you are and how like sweet. I'm just like, rawr, go get them. So I wanted them to have like this different perspective of the same things that I teach them all the time, which is like, you can do this. I want you to dream bigger, but I know that that's something that you're overcoming right now that you can really speak to. So, this is the next question. I feel like you're always encouraging everyone around you. Sorry, I'm going to reread that. I feel like you're always encouraging everyone around you and so inspired by other people who are where you want to be. Like you look at those people and you're like, oh, good for them. Like, that's awesome. And so how do you avoid the comparison trap that we all find ourselves in? Or how do you recognize it and nip it in the bud when it does happen to you? Because I tell people all the time, like, I don't not compare myself now. I just notice when I am and I can nip it in the bud. It's not like I'm perfect and like, oh, I don't ever compare. I just notice that I am and I know it doesn't serve me. So really quick before you answer, I don't know what number we're on for, put a 4 in the chat if you've ever compared yourself, like, oh, I wish I was there. I wish I was like that person. I wish my post looked like theirs. I wish I was good at TikToks like that. I wish I was funny. I wish I was sweet like Kellie. I wish I was like this. Like, I wish I looked like them. Man, I wish that I could sign as many people as they do. Man, I wish I was ambassador. Man, I wish I've compared myself. Okay. I do that all the time. Like it's a struggle that I think a lot of us continue to struggle with. So I want you to talk about how you have overcome that or how you fix it when you notice it.
So I don't think you like don't ever compare yourself. I think everybody does in all kinds of ways. But I think you can get better at recognizing when you do it. Okay, the Bible says take every thought captive and submit it. Okay, so I think what happens is your awareness of it happening, you catch it faster. The more that you're actively, self-development and, having a prayer time, um, and paying attention to what's coming out of your mouth. The more self-aware you become, the faster you're able to catch it and go recognize the behaviors. When I'm not in a good place, I jokingly tell people, but this is the actual truth. When I'm not in a good place, you'll notice the Amazon truck comes to my door more often on a regular basis. I'm not kidding. One of my best friends lives across the street and we joke because we both are kind of like this. And we'll be like, hey, Amazon's at your house. Because when I'm not in a good place, I shop. That's bad. I'm not like a big giant spender, but I mean, I'm like, I will $20 you all day long. Okay. And I'm like, okay, when I'm getting down or get into that kind of trap, I'm like, ruh-roh, and Andrew will go, hey, we got a few Amazon boxes at the door. I mean, it'll be like a lot of boxes. Okay. So I don't think you can avoid it altogether, but I think you can recognize the behaviors, what comes out of your mouth, the actions that you're doing. I'll notice that if I'm in a comparison wheel, I'm going to other people's, you know how you have like those certain people that you steal from all the time? Okay. Or like you get ideas from all the time. You've got like your list of people. Okay. And I'll go and see what's Morgan doing, what's Cheyenne doing, what's Rachel Jones doing, what's Amanda Busher doing. Like these are they're like, okay, what are they doing now? And what post is working for them? And let me go see what they're doing. You know what I mean? And I'll notice the more I'm doing that more often versus stopping and thinking and writing something for myself or having my own ideas. And when I feel like I have no ideas, then I go, oh, I'm probably not in a good place. You know what I'm saying? So here's something I will say that I feel like could be helpful. And I know it's getting late, so I don't want to keep a lot of your time. I know you've got to go night. So, but one thing that I want to remind you is that you have a Ness that only you have. You guys ever, I mean, this might be old. Okay, so whatever, but the movie You, Me, and Dupree, Owen Wilson, did you guys ever watch that movie? Okay. And he talks about your Ness. He tells Carl, you got your Carl Ness. You have a Ness, okay? Or a thing about you that makes you good at this business. Okay. So Sherry Lynn's Ness is not my Ness. I wish it was, but it's not. Okay. I know Stacy's Ness. One of her things is consistency. Stacy's like, doing her consistent thing. I told Andrew today, I'm like, I'd probably forget our team huddle on Monday nights if Stacy wasn't there to text me and say, hey, we got our team huddle tonight. You know what I mean? I'm like, consistency is not my forte. Although I have gotten better, I will say. You can grow in the areas that you're weak in. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But what is your Ness? Okay. This is going to sound dumb. But for the sake of sounding dumb, I'm just going to tell you these are the things I know. Okay. Okay. So one of my Nesses is when I go live or if I do a TikTok or I make a reel, people think I'm nice. I'm like, I'm totally nice until you're mean to my friends or mean to someone like one of my leaders or mean to my husband or my kids. Then I'm not nice. Okay. I struggle with being nice really hard when you, okay. So don't be mean to my people. And then I'm fine. You can be mean to me, but not my people. So, you know what I mean? But like one of my Ness things is I attract people because people just for some reason think I'm nice and I am nice, but I'm saying, okay. When you watch your videos or when you see your posts, what is something that you feel like people pick up on from you? Okay. Something that I've seen Morgan and Cheyenne both grow in that I feel like I haven't totally picked up on. So this is me comparing myself to them. Okay. But this is not a bad thing. I feel like they both have this ownership of doing the business. Like I own what I do and I'm good at it. And I'm like, how do I do that? I don't know how to say that. Like, it's just not, I'm like, so when I go and watch them, they're cute cute pictures and their posts. It's not rude, like boss babe posts, but still there's this Ness that goes, oh no, you want to join my team because I'm really good at this. I'm like, I'm not good at writing stuff like that. It's just not, you know what I mean? So I go and I'll go, okay, that one I could maybe kind of say it different and add some pink hearts. I don't know. Okay. So there is some comparison that you go, hey, Sherry Lynn does that. She writes stuff like that. Christy Christensen writes stuff like that I go, they're like, I'm good at this and you want to join me because I'm good at it. And I'm like, oh, I mean, I think I'm pretty good at this. I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm like, where's that confidence? Where's that, like, it doesn't exude out like it does for them. And I go, okay, well, maybe I can adjust in that way. But I can't forget my niceness. Y'all feel me on this? This is simple, but this is the honesty, okay? I am nice. And I like people. I genuinely just want you to join my team and hope that we'd be friends. And if you're good at this, awesome. But if not, could we just be friends? Because I just like friends. You know what I'm saying? And so that does attract people. Sometimes it attracts a lot of older people, which is weird. But people will message me and tell me all kinds of things about their life and ask me to pray for them. And like, I don't know, just want to talk to me because it's Ness. There's a Ness. Okay. So what is your Ness? Because can I just tell you, your Ness will take you all the way to Ambassador Diamond. And if it is not a feeling that comes from your posts, maybe you steal all your posts. Girl, I stole all my posts going up to Ambassador too. I mean, shoot, when I was having tiny babies and doing this, best believe I was still in the post every single day because I could not think there was no extra brain cells. Okay. And that's fine because you could still win by stealing, but okay, give some hearts and some likes after you steal from someone. Okay. Okay. Y'all feel me on this? But what I will say is stop for a minute and go, okay, what am I good at in this process? You're going to be good at something or else you're not making any money. So if you're making money, you're good at something. Okay. Stacey's good at lots of things, but one of the things that I don't have that I try to take from Stacey is consistency. She is the good and faithful. I tell you what, always with a smile, right there, consistent, the ever faithful Stacey Alcala. You know what I mean? And so I go, oh, okay. So, okay, I forgot about the team huddle. I forgot to tell you to be commission qualified. I'll probably forget to tell you all the important things you really need to know, but we're going to have a great time doing it, okay? And you're going to really want to be my friend, okay? And so maybe I look like an idiot, but I still attract people. That's a Ness. And you can grow in the areas that you're weak in, but you also have to be aware enough to recognize the Ness that you are designed with, okay? There has got to be at least one strength you can lean on. You know what about Norla? When she came to my house, I will never forget Norla's notebook. Y'all, I'm telling you what, in fact, she had like 3 notebooks and they're all color coded with 5 different highlighters. And I was like, show me that again. Nope, I still don't remember. There's no way I would learn her system, but that's why she's a master enroller. She writes everything down. Girl, look at that notebook. Nope, I don't get it. Nope. Confused mind says no. Beep. And that's me. Confused mind says heck to the no. Okay, but I can still win. I can still be Ambassador Diamond. And so can you. Okay, and if you're not a mass enroller, and you don't got this giant backbone of confidence in this red fiery Ness, well, neither did I. And if you're not consistent, well, awesome. Neither am I, okay? And if you're a hot mess express and you take a shower and put your hair in a bun, and that's about as good as it's gonna get, good. Can you buy some eyelashes? Like, you don't have to be what you think it requires. What you have to be is what you are and own the dang thing. I'm nice. If I own my niceness, people join me in this business. Okay. I'm honest and I probably sound like an idiot or like I don't know what I'm doing half the time. That's not true because I do know that if I lean on my niceness, I can build a business. I know how to work hard and it might be in circles, but I will work myself to death in a dang circle until the job is done. Still gets the job done. Right? So what I'm saying to you is you thing, okay? And maybe it's knowing all the information. My friend Jen Goodson, I think she's on here tonight. She is like the knower of all the things. Anytime you don't know something, you go, Jen, do you remember blah, blah, blah? And Jen's like, oh, I got it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that's a thing for Jen. Okay, and the weaknesses that you have, you can grow in some of them. I'm probably never going to be able to explain to you the compensation plan. And I try. I got it printed and highlighted, and that's about as good as it's going to dang get. Don't ask me reports. I don't know them. Okay. I just learned cabs this year because of Norla. And okay, I get cabs. It's fine. I still make money. Okay. You can still win. You can still win, but you're going to have to own the Ness that you have. What's your one thing that attracts people? Then do that and put the pressure on that thing. And all the rest of it, y'all, I might never, ever, I wish I could have a really pretty house like Sherry Lynn. I don't know the first thing about picking out nothing. I'd go to a magazine and go, sure, I'll take, and then it's going to come out nothing like the same. Okay. I don't know nothing about all these things. Okay. I don't know nothing about no notebooks, bro. I don't know nothing about no notebooks and highlighters and none of those things. And I got wrinkles and I can't fix it. And I got gray hair and I can only color it. Okay. And I can only do what I can do. But if I lean on what I can do, and the same is for you. Does that make sense? And if you get stuck on what you don't have and what you are not, I did that before. When I was coming up in my business, we were looking at Jocelyn Yates and Alyssa Bilyeu and Jade Hooper. And I was like, well, I'm not, 19 or 20 or whatever it was, like Jocelyn Yates. I don't have long blonde hair and crystal clear blue eyes. I don't know how to be a blogger. I don't like writing things. And I'm not fancy like Alyssa Marie, sorry. Alyssa, okay? I'm not those things. And I'm watching Jade and she's momming and I'm like, I can do that. I don't know, I can do that. And again, I can be nice. And that's about all I got. Okay. Does that make sense? That I was so focused on what I didn't have and what I was not. And I was really trying. I remember buying the same eyelashes that Alyssa uses because I thought they were so beautiful and it would make me look fancy if I bought the same eyelashes as her. And I did it. Doesn't that sound silly? But I was so focused on what I didn't have and what I was not. And I so desperately wanted to win at this business that I was willing to try different things and to be like, I still wasn't like them. Buy all the eyelashes in the world and still be nothing like them. Does that make sense? But I can work hard and I can be nice. And the Lord can use that. What can you do? Can you work hard and can you be the whatever you are? The Lord can use that. And it can work for you. Same as it can work for anybody else.
That's so good, y'all. I'm like sweating. My face is red. I'm laughing. My face hurts. This is so good. But I want y'all to write what you think your Ness is. After hearing that, like, what do you think yours is? Hers is being nice. Mine is confidence, I guess, is mine. Like, mine's like, let's go. Like, I don't care what you think. Let's go. What's your Ness? And you might have to think about it. But what's your Ness? What are people attracted to you for in this business? What can you share with other people that they're going to be like, oh, that's why I love that, So while you're writing those, one thing that you said was, how did you word it? It was at the very end. You said, oh, I used to focus on everything that I wasn't and everything I didn't have. And so here's the thing, because I feel like comparison is the thief of joy. That's what the Bible says. But whenever we think about it, it's like, I used to be more like, oh, well, this is what I don't have, and this is what I lack, and this is that I want to be like them, and I want to have this that they have, and I need more of that, and I need more of that, and I just kept trying to be everybody else. I'd do the same thing that she did, where I was like, I need to write like Claire Flores, and I need to take pictures like Alyssa, and I need to be funny, like so and so. Like I was like trying to do all the things, and like I need to have a hobby like this person, and I was trying to be everybody else. But now I've grown into where I can look at those people and be like, wow, that's really cool that they have that. I don't have that thing, and I'm not like dogging on myself. I'm just self-aware enough to know like that's not my gift, but good for them. And that makes me want to do better. Like what Kellie was saying about Stacy, she was like, that's not where I'm at, but I want to grow in that. And that's really cool. And I admire her. As you were talking, I think maybe this will click for some of you. I think the difference is that when you know who you are, you can appreciate the gifts in other people. But when you don't know who you are, you want the gifts that other people have, and you wish that you could be everything that you're not. But when you know who you are, you can appreciate that about other people and know that's not me, but that's okay because I already have my gift. I know what my gift is. And y'all, it's okay if you want to say it too. My gift is not speaking very softly and just loving you. Like, I mean, I do love you, but like, I'm not like, oh, let's just be friends. Like, and just like that soft spoken, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are looking at Kellie and you're like, this is the total opposite of what we normally get. And I'm like very in your face and I'm like, let's go. Woo! Like all these things. And you're like, it's okay if you're not good. And I'm like, you better be good. Like, I'll make you good. So we're totally different, but like I can admire that in Kellie and be like, I want that. Like I want that softness. I want that heart. Like I want that you have, but I also know that I'm growing in that and that I'm learning how to do that. And I know that's not my natural gift, but I also know that I have other gifts too. And so I think that that's like, as you were talking, I was like, boom, that's it. Like it clicked for me, like where the difference is from who I used to be and how I am now, because I used to not be able to follow people for a long time because all I did was compare myself to them and I just wanted what everybody else had. But when I grew to know who I was and know who I am, like I can appreciate what that is in other people and see their gifts for what they are and know that I still have gifts too, even though they're not the same as theirs. Okay, so we only have 3 minutes left. We're gonna skip the last question because I feel like we're on a roll, so I don't want to like switch gears. So will you just like, I know this is like putting you on the spot. I'm sorry if you don't have anything, I can keep talking and like buy you some time. Okay, do you have like one last like that you just one last thing that you want to say that's on your heart?
Okay, wait. So I was reading the comments as you told them to type their things. And I saw Brooke say that apparently it was her hair. And so that might sound funny as you're typing that, okay, to say your hair. Kindness is not my only thing. Like, right? Your hair is not your only thing. Celeste said, being an overcomer, that's not your only thing. You're going to have talents and other, I mean, like, I do all these other things in life. Like, I did music before this business. That's more what I'm known for. But now apparently in this business, it's kindness, because in social media, all you can do is type and a picture and what is coming through that people connect to. I mean, and then there's live videos and stuff like that that takes it to another level. But you know what I'm saying? So Brooke, if it's your hair, you know, then you're going to want to have your hair do whatever people respond to when you're needing interaction on your posts. If your likes and comments get down, you know, it's time for a hair something. However you wear your hair. Do you get what I'm saying? Like if it's wearing it a certain way and people always respond every time you do it that way, then you know when you need interaction, you're going to do your hair that way because it's going to get the response that you want. If I'm going to do a TikTok and I want to attract people, I'm going to record over and over and over and watch the feeling that comes from the video. And if it looks fake, I'm not posting it. If it looks anything other than, she looks really kind, I'm not posting it because I know that's my Ness. And if I lean into it, I'm going to attract people and they'll respond and they'll trust that what I'm saying, that this business isn't a scam. They're going to trust it because I look kind. Do you get what I'm saying? So like Celeste, when you're doing posts and you're taking pictures, you lean into that overcomer Ness. You're writing posts from a place of, I know that I can accomplish. I know that I can conquer. I know that do you know what I mean? There's a confidence when you lean into, I'm an overcomer. In your pictures, I'm teaching my boys to be an overcomer because I have overcome. There's that Ness. And if you lean into that, then that's what people know you for. Does that make sense? So hair might be something funny and there might be something else, Brooke, but you can lean into the hair and use that and it will get you response. What is it that gets you response when people are watching or reading? Or are you a writer and they connect to your words? Then write a post when you're needing to get enrollments happening. Does that make sense? Almost can sound like manipulation, but it's not. It's knowing your strength and leaning into the strength when you need a result that you're looking for. Okay. And you did ask me about what's working, and I know it does change it, but host a post. Host a post, I will say, here's the thing. If you know your Ness, then you're writing posts or leaning into that gets you the response. And then host a post is what we're using on our team on Facebook, our friends list. Specifically, if you guys, this is our thing, okay, that we're leaning into right now is printing out our Facebook friends list. And I haven't even done a giveaway post yet this month, but I'm enrolling every single day because I'm going through my friends list. There's hundreds and hundreds of people, pages of people I've never, ever talked to before on my friends list. And because I'm going through it name by name by name, it only takes like 3 people posting for me for it to blow up because they've never done host a post before. And but you do have to have something that you're leaning into to get that traction in your social media, and knowing what your Ness or your thing is. Don't think too hard about it. Okay. If you're like, yeah, I don't have anything, I'm not, whatever. That's not true. Okay. That's not true. But what is it that people, respond to? And what do they say? Oh, you seem so blah, blah, blah. You seem so, confidence is an awesome thing. It's just, I have to work on that. I am confident. It's just, I don't think, that's not the brain cell I think with when I'm writing or when I'm creating something for social media. You know what I'm saying? So what is it that you do, that you lean to? Print out your friends list. Yeah. So just copy and paste. You can just copy and paste it in a Word document. And then I adjusted it to where it's all in 1, 2, 3 column. And then I did front and back so that it's not 500 pages that you're printing out in Word. Literally, you open up your Facebook on your computer, go to your friends list, copy and paste to a Word document, and then delete out what you don't want, and then print it. That's it. Or you can, Amber, you can do Excel. I don't know how to do Excel, so I just did Word.
Amber's a green. Amber does all the Excel sheets and all the organization things I don't know how to do. And she reminds me of all the things I forget because I am forgetful too. All right. Well, that was so good. Thank you so much.